Hello, how are you? Happy Monday. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jen Turnham and I am passionate about using brain science and my psychology degree to help women fill their own cup first in order to be better mothers, sisters, friends, partners, whatever it is that you would like to be. I'm also the host of the free Facebook group Highly Sensitive Extroverts with Jen. So if you are an HSP or highly sensitive person and you're an extrovert, maybe you feel like you're, they sometimes refer to people like us as introverted extroverts because we don't 100% fit the extrovert mold. If that's you, then you're one of only about 6% of the population, because we HSPs who are also extroverts are truly unique. We have different struggles and different challenges. That's why I created the Highly Sensitive Extroverts group. So if you are relating to this, then we'd love to have you join us. I also wanted to draw your attention to a free guide I created. It's called Feel Fantastic in 3 Simple Steps. There's a link in the post attached to this video to download that guide. There's also a link to join the Highly Sensitive Extroverts group. So today I'm going to be talking about calming your monkey mind. So who can relate to this? Have you ever been kept awake at night with a churning mind? Have you ever felt stressed due to the non-stop chatter in your brain? Have you ever wished you could just shut your brain off, even just for a minute or two? If that's you, if you can relate to that, if you've ever experienced the monkey mind, as they call it, please comment, yes, please calm my monkey mind in the comments below. Just so that I know that I'm on the right track with these topics. Now, in terms of dealing with our monkey mind, most of the time we end up stuck in a vicious cycle where our churning thoughts and monkey mind ends up taking all our focus, and we end up just getting more and more wound up and more stressed by the thoughts because we feel like we can't control them, we can't catch them, we can't process them because they're just going round and round faster and faster, and it just ends up spiraling, I suppose, out of control. So it's obviously quite a tricky thing to deal with, and most of the time we simply try to stop the thoughts, but what happens then is that just trying to stop them ends up drawing more attention to them, and we end up making it worse and then getting stuck in that spiral. And distractions can work, but only for so long. And I also feel like it is just simply that. It is just a distraction, and it's not actually a fix to calm the monkey mind. So what can we do instead? I came across this article when I was researching this topic in Forbes magazine, and they described some science-based tricks to calm the monkeys. Now, trick number 1 is meditation. I've mentioned this in numerous videos because obviously it's a very helpful tool, and the benefit list of meditation is very long, so I won't bother going into it right now. But there are heaps of great guided meditation apps out there, and they're free. Have a look in the App Store or online. So that's trick number 1, is try meditation. The second one is CBT, or cognitive behaviour therapy. Now this is where most of my expertise lies. I've spent the majority of my career focused on CBT, which stands for cognitive behaviour therapy, for those who haven't heard of it before. And CBT is considered to be the gold standard when it comes to reducing negative thoughts and changing our lives for the better. And to put it simply, basically what CBT does is, or what it involves, is first of all becoming aware of our thoughts, and then secondly creating a new, more helpful thought. And with practice, this new thought can become the default. So we're essentially then changing our thoughts, which therefore changes the results we get in our life. There's a whole ton of brain science behind that, which I won't go into now. But CBT, or changing our thoughts, is the second trick to dealing with the monkeys. The third one is mindfulness. And I'm mentioning this one separate from meditation because I think in my mind, when I first, and even still now, I suppose, think about meditation, I think, oh, I've got to find 30 minutes, I've got to meditate. Whereas mindfulness feels like something that's much more accessible and you can do in a much shorter period of time, because it doesn't take long to quickly ground yourself in the present using mindfulness techniques. That was number 3, wasn't it? I've lost count. Number 4 is talk or write. Now, there is a big difference between talking in your head, the monkeys, and talking to an actual person. So being stuck in your head doesn't usually result in any order or meaning to the thoughts, but verbalizing them to somebody else may help with this. It just helps to make sense of them so that it stops all that, the craziness and the monkeys going nuts. And writing has also been shown to have a similar effect and can be really helpful, obviously, if you don't have anyone handy that you can chat to. Now, tip number 5. I keep going off on tangents and forgetting where we are. So tip number 5 is acceptance. Now, this is similar to what we talked about last week in last week's topic, which was coexisting with unresolved issues. So acceptance, this is the premise of ACT, or acceptance and commitment therapy. And what this is about is, rather than struggle along and trying to change what cannot be changed, instead we focus on learning to accept it. So it could be uncertainty. So the monkeys could be all about uncertainty, could be fear. It could be any of life's difficulties that we actually can't control or can't do anything about. So what this does, what acceptance does, is it frees us from the cycle of worry, because it teaches you to cope and deal with what's happening that's beyond your control, rather than trying futilely to change things. So instead of trying to change, we just accept this is what is, and it is beyond my control. Really important when you're doing this is don't forget to be kind to yourself, because self-compassion goes a really long way here when we're trying to make some changes and some shifts. Now, the next trick is called cognitive diffusion. This is a technique that basically takes or changes the way a word or a phrase impacts you. So you might have something stuck on repeat in your brain. For example, let's say you're stuck with the thought, life is meaningless. And that's just on repeat in your brain. It just keeps popping up. Everything that happens, you just keep coming back to this life is meaningless thought. The key with cognitive diffusion is to alter. Buddy's found something else to bark at. Don't know if you can hear that in the background. So the key with cognitive diffusion is to alter the thought slightly. So, for example, with that one, life is meaningless, instead of that, you could think instead, I am having a thought that life is meaningless, and repeat that in your head. And what it does is it takes the negative punch out of that thought, because life is meaningless. Even just saying that makes me, like, my energy kind of be sapped, and it's not a very nice thought, obviously. But if you change it to I'm having a thought that life is meaningless, it lacks the power that the other thought had. Now, you can use this technique also for just individual words. So let's say you have this unfortunate habit of calling yourself stupid when you mess up, or if you feel inadequate and you call yourself a loser. So recognize what word it is and say that word aloud over and over again. Same thing, by doing that, it dilutes the power that that word has over you. Because, you know, you probably experienced this in life where you're using a word over and over again, and eventually you start looking at it and you're going, is that spelt right? Is that even a word? The word loses its meaning and loses its power because it's on repeat. So saying it aloud over and over again can actually trigger that to happen. So today's challenge, or this week's challenge, is first of all to notice when your monkey mind starts chattering away, and then do the following. So first of all, stop what you're doing, recognize it. I can't talk now. Recognize it for what it is, which is, there's the monkeys have started up again. And then secondly, choose one of the techniques I described and try it out. So just run through the techniques quickly again. So it was meditation, CBT or cognitive behavior therapy, changing the thoughts, mindfulness, talking or writing, practicing acceptance of the things we can't control, and cognitive diffusion. So changing the thoughts, altering it slightly, or repeating a particular word aloud over and over again. So they're the things you can try to calm your monkey mind. And once you've given one a try, I would love for you to share in the group how you went, share what worked, share what your main challenges were in either recognizing monkey mind was in play or trying to calm the monkey mind. So I look forward to hearing how you go. Let's continue this conversation in the group. For those who aren't in the group, as I said, the link to join is in the post attached to this video. And don't forget to download your free guide, Feel Fantastic in 3 Simple Steps. That's it for me on this Monday afternoon in Perth, Western Australia. Have a fabulous week, everyone. Next week, we're going to do something slightly different for this live, because exciting things are happening. So anyway, I will see you same time, same place next week, right here, or in the group in between times. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.